My name is Max, and you're listening to The Steam Room here on GaySA Radio, where you are family. The Steam Room is brought to you by the South African National Department of Health's Phila project. So, seeing as tonight we're talking Chem Sex, I'm curious, what do the men who have Chem Sex have to say?
Do you use chems while having sex?
Yes, I do. Not every time or every occasion that I have sex, but yes, in certain occasions, specifically those ones that are longer than 2 or 3 hours.
So what would be the reason for using the chems?
My introduction to chem use or the use of chemicals is coupled to my coming out in gay life. I was married for 16 years, and after my divorce, I started this battle with these feelings that I had. So by the time that I got out of the closet in 2005, I was years behind everybody else who's been growing up in the gay environment. So for me, it was like a total roller coaster ride. And I was already past 40, so I wanted to know everything. How does it work? Why? And so forth. The whole gay environment. And my only connection or contact was via the internet, because I grew up in the old South Africa, where being gay was kind of illegal, sort of. So at the time, I was also a member of the South African Defence Force, and we all signed documents on the day that we started that we are not involved in any gay-related clubs or restaurants or places. You weren't allowed to go to any of those. So I started from having no idea of what gay life is, and within 3-4 years, I just slammed in everything that I could, and I tried everything. I believe that you do go out and you experiment with stuff that you hear, and obviously you don't want to feel out or left behind. So if the group says we're going to do this, we do that, and that is where my introduction came with the use of chems.
So why do you feel the need to keep on doing? What does it do for you?
It keeps me awake for the weekend if we do like a weekend session, which starts from a Friday to a Sunday. That's one of the reasons. But I've experimented with 3 different types of chems in the beginning, and I didn't like what it did to me. If I don't like something, I don't do it. So it took me some time to actually settle on one specific drug that I want to use for sex. And for me personally, it helps me to relax in a sex situation. And obviously, what I found out later after I originally started using it, was that using crystal meth specifically heightens the entire sexual experience in that short period of a weekend, for instance.
You've experimented with different kind of chemicals. Which ones have you decided to use? What chems do you take?
I experimented with GHB, which is also known as liquid E, with CAT, which is, in the beginning of my introduction into the gay environment, was the drug to use. I never experimented with anything like heroin or cocaine, or the heavy drugs. Only one that I use at this stage is crystal meth. Now, in the beginning, I used it by taking lines, and very shortly after that, I heard that people told me that if you slam crystal meth, which means slamming is the term we use to inject yourself with whichever drug you use. I've heard that this is the ultimate experience you can have to heighten your sexual experience.
So the question is, how does it do that? What does it do? Is it better? Is it good, the sex? Is it worse because of the chemical?
What I found with with crystal use specifically is it takes away your inhibitions. Growing up as a very prim and proper type of person, I need to relax in order to start doing, like, for instance, a group session, or where there's more than one person involved in a session, like threesomes or foursomes and so forth. It puts me at ease, first of all. It makes me relax. It immediately takes me away from any real life stuff, work problems or hassles at home. It brings everybody that is there in that group, it brings everybody up to the same sort of sexual height to start the session on the same level.
Okay. If there's a group and some people are slamming and some are not, does that change the dynamics?
Yes, definitely. It took me 6 years to research everything about the use of crystal meth before I got the guts or before I found somebody that injected me with it, that I felt safe with. Or the reason why I did research is I don't do stuff for the sake of doing it. That's kind of the person that I am. I will investigate, get all the information, and then make a well-informed decision of whether I'm going to do something or not. I don't smoke, and I don't use alcohol at all. So for me to come into this whole concept of illegal substances, to use that, I had to make sure that I knew every single side, the pros, the cons. What do you need to be careful for? Where do you get the stuff? How do you know the mixture that you've got is safe and there's not other poisons and stuff added within that product that might hurt you? The whole concept of overdosing was extremely important thing to know what, where, and how.
What are some of the negative things that could happen by taking crystal meth, for instance?
Crystal meth, taking crystal meth on the negative side is that you totally lose all your inhibitions. You lose all concept of time, so to speak. I found that first-time users who might come and join a session for 2 hours, 2 days later they're still there, and they just lost the whole responsible concept of I've got to start and an end time. You can't overdose from crystal itself like you can overdose from GHB or some of those drugs. Basically what happens is when you take these drugs, you don't think about having a safe or protective sex. You don't think about the next morning you're supposed to be on a plane to Cape Town for a lecture or something. And then you suddenly become aware of a situation where you've lost the timeline in your mind is missing. You can't remember where you started and what you did. And then some people tend to jump into a specific action which leads to an accident. And that's where the danger comes in with the crystal meth specifically.